This is the Clean Cuisine, and today we're going to be making these bad little boys. Alright guys, next up we have a pumpkin custard, or aka the pumpkin bake. If you are doing a Whole30, this will get you out of your egg rut and give you something new to look forward to for breakfast. So I've got out the ingredients that we're going to be using today. I've got 2 very ripe bananas. I've got a can of coconut milk, full fat, a can of pumpkin, 4 eggs, some pumpkin pie spice, some almond butter. You can also use almond meal in place of that. And the original recipe called for pecans, but I have some slivered almonds on hand, and my family really likes almonds, so we're going to go with that. Now you could use the traditional 9x9, is it 9x9? 8x8? Whatever size pan that is. You could use one of those, but my girls, they seem to love the individual size. So while you could use a cupcake tin like so and put the liners in, why would you want to mess with that when you can get silicone? If you guys have not used these things, they are a lifesaver. I use these for everything from freezy pops to freezing herbs to cupcakes to omelets, the little individual size omelets, which you'll see in another video. But anyway, amazing. You can bake with them and they just pop right out. You don't have to worry about any mess. So there you go. There's your hack for the day. Alright, so let's get to work, guys. I've got my 2 peeled ripe bananas. Just going to kind of break them up when I put them in here. And then just quickly, I'm going to give them a little mash with the fork. They'll all come together and blend with my immersion blender when I put everything together, but this will just make it a little bit easier. So this is not a necessary step, but I think it helps the mixing process. So just mash them up a little bit. Alright, to that then I am going to add my 4 eggs, which I've already broken. My 1 can of pumpkin, 1 15-ounce can. Not pumpkin pie mix, but just pumpkin puree. And try and get as much out of there as possible. My 1 can of full fat coconut milk that I got this particular one at Trader Joe's, as I'm spilling it in there. And about 3 tablespoons of almond butter. So my family and I were doing a Whole30 right now, and this dish comes in handy when you've done about a week straight of eggs and just can't take it anymore. This is actually, I mean, it's really good anytime, especially this time around this time of year, the fall, Christmas season. Pumpkin flavors are just, I don't know, they taste that much better. So about 3 tablespoons of that. And you can even go with just bananas, or you can switch it up and do sweet potatoes in place of the pumpkin. I mean, a lot of the dishes I put up here, there's a lot of versatility to them, so make them your own. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, and I just happen to have some nutmeg handy too. You can also add a little bit of cinnamon for some extra flavor, but since I have these spices here and they go so well together, I'm just going to add a little bit of that. And so then we're just going to mix it up with an immersion blender. If you do not have one of these, feel free to use, you could use like a Cuisinart, NutriBullet, or you could just use a regular old standard mixer. But this does the trick pretty quick. Looking creamy and dreamy. So once that's all blended, and keep in mind I left out the nuts. Obviously that's something you're going to want to fold in after it's all blended like this. So we will do that next. All right, we've got it all blended. So I'm just going to put in about 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of some slivered almonds. Pecans would go really good in this. I don't have any on hand, but you could also use walnuts, you could use cashews, really any nut that you like. I'm just going to pour those in there and then just kind of fold it in, give it a stir. You can see it's pretty, the consistency is not very thick is what I'm trying to say. So it'll pour really nicely into your containers. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've got my silicone muffin tins out, and I do place it on a sheet pan because obviously you're not going to want to try and stick this in the oven like this. You're going to want something sturdy to sit it on. So I just line my sheet pan with aluminum foil because I always do that because I hate to clean my pans. So if I don't have to, I'm not going to. So I'm just going to use this, it's got a little pour on it, and try to carefully, as much as I can, pour it just about to the top of each one. And so far so good. And then they are going to go in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes, give or take. You can test it with a toothpick. But these are good, and they can be served both warm or you can serve them chilled. It's more of a custard type feel when they're chilled or when you have them the next day. So I do still have plenty of batter left over because these are a little bit smaller than normal muffin size tins. So I might finish it off with the other muffin tin. But for now, let's pop these in the oven and see what they look like. And after about 28 minutes in my oven, this is what these little bad boys came out to look like. I'm actually pretty excited. I kind of want to eat one right now. And if I have not sold you guys yet on these silicone muffin tins, just look how easy they pop out. It really is the simplest and easiest cleanup ever. So put these in the fridge if you make them the night before, and then you've got a quick, easy, delicious breakfast that will fill you up that you can eat on the go. I should make this small disclaimer, these are not super sweet, so if you're looking for a sweet dish to kind of curb that craving, this may not do it, but I think it's got just enough sweetness from the bananas. They are delicious. Some toppings, some cinnamon with a little bit of coconut milk. If you're off the Whole30, go ahead and drizzle some agave on top. They are delicious. I hope you guys enjoy.